Our daughter sent us this quote from Instagram, and it says, I always love it when people say baby steps to imply they're being tentative, when actually baby steps are a great, unbalanced, wholehearted, enthusiastic lurch into the unknown. So today we're going to talk about baby steps. Welcome to the What Could Go Right podcast. We are your hosts, Erik, Orton.
And I'm Emily Orton.
And here we talk about personal growth and sailing. In 2014, we moved aboard a fixer-upper sailboat and bootstrapped a year sailing with our 5 kids, and it changed our lives forever.
We tell the whole story in our memoir, our book, 7 at Sea. On this podcast, we want to help you go from fear to freedom, one adventure at a time. Okay, baby steps. Why do even tiny steps feel so hard sometimes? And this quote that Erik read at the beginning is exactly it. And I just want to give credit. It's at Olivia F. Smith on Instagram, I think. And yeah, I'll just say it again. I always love it when people say baby steps. We say that. We use baby steps all the time.
We say it. And that's what we mean. Kind of like, oh, I'm just going to ease up to this when we're now watching our own grandkids learning how to walk. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like we now have these grandchildren, and one of them, like she's just trying to learn how to get her fist to her mouth. And the other one is just like right on the cusp of walking. He wants to hold hands, but he's about to fly. He's about to like pass that and be able to be upright and independent and getting where he wants to go. And that's a whole new world. But the steps are tentative. They're unbalanced. I love how she calls it wholehearted. Like there's just so much earnestness in trying to move forward, and an enthusiastic lurch into the unknown. Like, I think I know, I hope I know, I'm not really sure. And just moving forward.
We've all learned how to walk. Most of us don't remember it, but since we're getting to watch, in particular, our oldest grandson, who's turning 1, our only grandson, turning 1 soon, and just right there, and you realize that a baby step is that you go from kind of holding on to the edges or holding somebody else's hands to, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to stand up. I could fall flat on my face. I could fall flat on my butt. I could go sideways. You just don't always really know. And so it's a pretty risky thing. And now that I feel called out, I feel like it's sort of a misnomer. A baby step is not a tentative, gentle approach. It's pretty full on. It's kind of a commitment.
Yeah, it's an indication that you're going to be moving in a new direction. And I just think it's important to recognize if you're in that situation. We're talking about, making a baby step. The Ortons are like, oh, this is a baby step. This is going to be a small thing. Just like Google this or call this person or drive by the location or, and I just want to acknowledge that in physics, those initial steps require the most energy because you don't have momentum yet. You're moving from either inertia or a non-movement or from one direction to actually change into a different direction when you're trying something new, which is usually when we're talking about baby steps. And that translates emotionally as well, that when you're trying something new, doing something different for the first time, it also requires the most emotional effort, the most seeing yourself in a new way, the most, I don't know if you are very aware of how you experience sensations in your body. It's going to be the most tense muscles, the most upset stomach, the most, just however you feel anxiousness or adrenaline or anxiety, you are going to feel it in the baby steps the most.
I have a few thoughts on this.
Yeah, I want to hear. And I have some examples.
Okay, so I love the idea of space travel. I love rocket ships. Always have. And first of all, I love your metaphor that in physics, moving something, the initial momentum requires the most energy, the most fuel. To get a rocket ship 6 inches off the ground requires so much effort, so
Mm-hmm.
much fuel, so much power. And then once you're 600 feet in the air, you've got momentum, and it's less fuel, less power. And the further away we get from the gravitational pull of the Earth, the less fuel, the less power, the less effort is required. But that first inch is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we need to give it its due,
Yeah.
that it's such a small distance, but it requires so much. And also, I think I would say it's about perspective. And here I'd love to share an example.
Yeah.
We can look back and say, um, you know, Googling sailing as a family for a year felt like a baby step. But at the time, that's like a wild, radical idea. And so just to sort of think up that Google search was a pretty big act.
Mm-hmm.
Now I might say, well, oh, I think I want to start shopping around to buy a marina. That feels like, oh, that's like a big step for me now. Whereas by, 10 years ago, that is a thought that would never enter my head. And so I guess what I'm saying is that I think a baby step is going to feel um, big or small based on your perspective. For us, helping little kids learn how to walk, where it's like, oh, they're on carpet, nothing really bad's going to happen, or everything around them is soft furniture. If they fall, it's no big deal. They don't know that. And it feels pretty full on to them. And so for us, it looks like a baby step. For them, it can feel pretty committing, pretty daunting, and quite risky. And I guess I don't want to jump ahead of us, but I'm climbing with this young guy,
Yeah. Let's hear about it.
probably 22 years old, I think. Um, Turns out I hang out with a lot of 20 somethings. Anyway, this guy messaged me. I'm actually friends with his parents. And he's like, I want to climb Half Dome, and I don't know anything about this, and I understand that you do. And I was like, Half Dome? Yeah. I haven't climbed it, but I've tried. And the last 20
But
something,
you're,
the
yeah,
last 20 something guy that I was supposed to climb it with
got sick.
didn't work out with him. So, anyway, so I've been going rock climbing with this, I'll call him a kid, not because he's a young man.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, but everything feels so um, big and daunting to him because I like to climb with people that are safe, that are knowledgeable, and he's learning a few things to kind of get up to speed. And so one of the things that you do when you climb a big route like Half Dome, if you haven't seen it in Yosemite, look it up. Half Dome, it's iconic, it's beautiful.
If you've ever seen the brand North Face, their logo is
Oh yeah,
based
actually,
off the Half Dome. It's just
yeah.
like a little.
Little known fact, that's a side view of Half Dome, and the north face is the north face of Half Dome, and it's a northern facing cliff that is great to climb in the summer because it's mostly in the shade because the sun moves in the southern hemisphere. Blah blah blah, and so anyway, but it's like I forget, like 20 something rope lengths. They call it a pitch in rock climbing, and you do it over more than one day, oftentimes, and that's what we plan to do. And so you have to bring food, water, a little bit of sleeping gear with you, and that adds a whole other element. So I'm teaching this guy how to set up pulley systems to bring your gear up after you, how to do the kind of climbing that gets you up. It's called lead climbing, it's aid climbing, and a lot of it's new to him. And I've been doing a fair bit of it over the past 10 years. And so it doesn't feel scary to me, but it feels like a big deal to him. So I see him taking baby steps. And for him, he feels like he's growing by leaps and bounds. And I guess that's what I mean by perspective is that when we are trying something new, things that feel huge, once we get to the point of mastery, are going to feel small, but for now they feel huge,
And they are.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And they are, yeah.
And they are huge. And it was for you as well when you were starting down that road. And I imagine you are giving him not just lots of instruction, but lots of encouragement.
Oh yeah.
Erik is really great at giving encouragement. When you're rock climbing together, he's like, oh, that's a bomber hold. Oh, just right about. Oh, nailed it. Oh, good job. Looking strong. You're really good at that part.
Thank
I
you.
love that part of climbing with you. And even when I'm just sitting around and hearing you encourage everybody else. And I have an example of that too. And I think that's so important in the baby step season. And we recently did an episode where we were talking about launching an S curve and when things are new. And here we are again, because things are always new. There are always going to be new things. And I tried some new things recently. Our daughter Lily signed us up for a golf tournament at church. I typically use golf as an example of this is something I don't care about. I'm not interested in. I've never felt bad that I don't play golf well or at all, because it just shows to me that, oh, that's not very important to me, right? And then we all think different things are important. And for some people, golf is the very, in their top 5 list of things that matter. And so we were part of a team. It's something called a scramble. Whoever hits the best ball, the rest of the team plays off that. I didn't know any of these things before we did the tournament, but she signed up and we wanted to support her in trying all the different kinds of things in life that she wants to try. And so for those of you who are new this episode, Lily's our daughter who is 17 and she has Down syndrome.
Can I jump in and just say,
Yeah.
I was shocked when I found out that she'd signed up. I thought it was just for the guys. I didn't even know it was open to everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
And the fact that she signed up, I just thought it was so cool that she's just like, I don't care. I've never done it. Sounds fun. Sign me up.
So then we got a call saying, hey, Lily signed up for this event. Is that something you're actually going to do? And so we decided we wanted to support her. I tried to help her understand. We took one night to make sure she knew what it really was. I told her it's mostly going to be guys mom and dad's age or older, and there's not going to be many teenagers. There probably won't be many girls or women in this event. I had her watch some golf tournaments on. It's actually hard to find a golf tournament on YouTube because they're all like pay-per-view subscribe things.
Yeah, that's
but
big, big money.
I found some golf that she could watch to get the idea of what it is, and she said she wanted to do it. So we went, and our teammates were so encouraging. I wasn't actually on the team. I was her caddy. But for me that day, I still felt like a certain sense of dread, knowing that we were going to be doing something new for the first time, that we were going to be doing it in front of people, that we were going to be doing it in front of people who care about this sport, and that we were going to be doing it in a competition.
And it's a team score.
And it's a team score. So I was feeling anxious about it. And then we got there and I said, we'll walk or do carts, whatever our team is doing. And our team was doing carts. So that is where I said, I have to confess, I'm 51 years old and I've never driven a golf cart. And the guy in our team was like, it's totally just like a Tesla. And that was not any help for me at all because I've also never driven a Tesla. So I was like, maybe you could just point out where the controls are and what I should keep in mind. I've done rental cars. I'm pretty sure I can handle it, but so they just kind of pointed out where the things are. And I was like, wow, that day for the first time ever, I drove a golf cart. We went golfing and I wasn't part of the team, but I got to ask a lot of questions and get like a little coaching. And I even got to hit a few shots, not as part of the event, but just because we had a little extra time. And that was so fun. But what I really loved was seeing how they responded to Lily, because when she would take the shots, they'd give her instruction. They would help her know how to hold the clubs. They were like, oh no, she's a lefty. We didn't know. And we don't have the right clubs for left-handed. And I said, you know what? She's ambidextrous. So, these clubs will be great. And she just hit right-handed the whole time. And it was really cool to see how much care and attention they gave to her and how much they wanted her to have a good time, how much they wanted her to enjoy it and actually really participate. And every time in the beginning, she would sometimes miss hitting the ball, but she started really getting the hang of it, and she wasn't hitting long drives, but she consistently connected with the ball, moved it in the right direction, was sometimes really helpful when they were putting on the green to help see which way the green was breaking, so that the players with a little more experience could then adjust their shots based on what they had learned from how her ball rolled, And anyway, it was pretty fun. And I just thought, when thinking about this quote about baby steps being these kind of hesitant, wholehearted, enthusiastic lurches forward, just seeing how much margin for error she was given and how much encouragement was lavished upon her. Like, what if we did that for ourselves? If we said, hey, I'm doing this for the very first time ever, and have a little self-compassion, and good for me. And of course it feels scary. And of course I feel anxious or nervous. And of course this is uncomfortable. And yet I'm doing it, and good for me. And I'm not expecting it to be perfect or even helpful yet, but I'm starting, and I'm getting the hang of it, and I'll try again, and it'll just keep getting better over time. And yeah, I just loved how well she was treated, because they did not give themselves that kind of grace, right? Some of them have been playing for decades, and if the shot didn't go the way they wanted, they would, that's maybe not even the right term.
The shot.
The shot. I don't even know. When the club hits the ball,
the hit,
if it didn't, go at the
shot is a good,
same trajectory,
we're all with you. Yeah.
then they would get a little frustrated and grunt, and maybe drop the clubs. But with her, because she was a beginner, they gave her so much room for praise and encouragement and enthusiasm. And I just thought, like, how amazing would it be if we recognize how brave we're being when we take those first steps, when we overcome that emotional inertia, and just, lavish ourselves with encouragement and praise, or get with somebody who is going to help do that for us, and be a mentor and a guide and a cheerleader. That would make a huge difference in taking those baby steps. So I just want to normalize that it's scary.
Well, I want to, first of all, I'm so glad you got to go golfing with her. And I was out of town visiting my parents, and so I had just heard about it. But I thought, how lucky for Lily to have a mom like you, and for us to have friends like this that were so encouraging. And I just want to shout out how you encouraged me. I mean, something recently that I did that felt a little scary was in our business. I booked, oftentimes when we do sailing trips, as it's clear that the trip is going to be full, I'll book a boat. I know kind of when boats are going to be available and when they might not be available. And I make sure that I get them before they're sold out, I guess. But I also know that people are going to go. And basically I got an opportunity to get some boats at a really good price, and went big. And in the past 30 to 45 days, I put 9 boats on hold.
And it's a money down, right? There's a deposit. It's not like I called and reserved.
No, it's not like reserving a rental car where if you don't show up, they don't charge you, or a hotel room. This is like committing to the full price of the boat. Mm-hmm. A lot of these trips are mostly full or totally full, especially the private ones. And some are, still pending.
Have room.
And so I know that right now, as I went through the process, it felt like a kind of a big lurch forward into the unknown. Mm-hmm. I'm trusting that that there are enough people out in the world that want to go on these trips, and we have enough fun doing it that it's all going to work out, because it has in the past. And I know that there will be a time in a year or 2 or 3 when I look back, and it'll just be how we do it normally, and it won't feel like a big deal. But doing it for the first time as a batch like that, I can't remember, maybe 2 episodes ago, we announced our 2026 season. So we're doing all these trips, and we have to be able to make good whenever we say, hey, we're going to do a trip, and people start signing up. So we have to have the boats, and that's a risk on our part. And mm-hmm. It's a risk that we're willing to take, but it still felt like, I'll say a baby step in the sense of like slightly terrifying.
and it's like clicking some buttons, transferring some points from our point account to their point account, and maybe a couple calls and emails.
Like at no point was I in any physical danger
Yeah.
at all, but it still felt like, oh.
Yeah, tell me. I would actually love if you can even remember the sound is, but what does it actually feel like in your body? Because I know this is not everybody is disconnected from their body, but a lot of times we don't recognize what we're feeling, and we just like scroll or stuff something in our mouth or whatever. But like,
Ooh,
what does it actually
I like the idea
feel
of
like?
stuffing stuff.
I know, right? Like,
I just came back from grandma's where there was lots of good stuff to shove in my mouth.
yeah, and it's heading into fall, so that's
Pumpkin
when all
spice
the baked
season.
goods are.
Okay, so
that could be your approach, but how did it feel?
For me, the predominant feeling whenever I'm doing something that makes me nervous is I will get like a glistening layer of sweat over most of my upper body. Like Emily has seen me, like I get off a phone call or I read an email and she'll see me just take off my shirt and just start walking around.
I like that. I'll see you turn on the fan.
You're gonna start sending me like alarming emails just to.
No, that's a good strategy.
But I'll turn on the fan, or I'll just like, oh, I'm so hot, I'm so sweaty, and so that's one of my physiological responses when something nervous or daunting comes up on me.
I've come in here before and seen you just like shaking out your hands, like, whew. That was just it's actually, that's we're dealing with science. Like it's getting that like anxious hormone, whether it's cortisol or adrenaline that you have coursing through your body at the time, it builds up and it does not feel good, and you can literally shake it off, like jump around a little bit,
Taylor
shake
Swift
your
it
arms.
out.
shake it off. That's one thing you can do, and just like really noticing. And I like to notice that as well. And I thought it was really interesting because I felt a little anxious at first on the golf course, like pushing the gas on the golf cart for the first time. Like we hardly moved at all. Definitely could have walked faster than I was going, but eventually got the hang of it and was able to floor it, and even like let Lily be the one who pushed the gas while I just steered.
Did you ever get it up on two wheels?
We didn't go up on two wheels. Okay. Right. No. So that maybe for another time when, yeah, exactly. Room for adventure. But again, when they would say, hey, why don't you try this shot? Even though I wasn't in the tournament, but to say that I was now going to, in front of the whole team, try hitting a golf ball for the first time, try using a driver for the first time or whatever. And they're like coaching me on form and what the angles should be and where I should have my head and every little tiny thing. And I'm being so self-conscious of holding myself properly. Am I holding the club properly? Like, I was like, wow, I'm actually really nervous now, because before I was just enjoying like watching Lily, cheering for her. And then when I was up in front of everybody, not even part of the team, like my belly went hollow. I could feel all my muscles tighten. There's kind of this like electric feeling running through my body. And I could tell like I was on the verge of just being embarrassed because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I would be able to hit it. I didn't. Anyway, I felt that beginner fear, inertia. I was like, well, it'll be easier if I just said, no, it's okay. I'm not on the team. I'll just drive the cart. But I stepped up for it and I did it. And I connected. I did break a tee. I don't think that's a sign of a good player, but it does indicate that I was
shows commitment.
I was committed.
You swung for the fences.
I went for it.
Can I throw out a classic quote in our family?
Yeah.
So we were having a conversation with a friend of ours in New York City years ago, probably 20 years ago. And he was just sort of sharing his life worries and concerns with us. And he said, I want to take risks. I just want to know what's going to happen first. And we're like, oh, it's actually not a risk if you know it's going to happen first. So we've laughed. We laughed. He had
a good laugh about it.
We laughed about it then, and we've laughed since. But we all want to take risks until there's skin in the game, until you're at the tee and everyone's watching you, and you run the risk of falling on your face or being embarrassed. So anyway,
I remember one time a friend we were talking about the stock market, and I remember you were sweating out some investments. You were,
making some trades.
we're not pros in that area, but we were trying to learn and making some trades. And
With real money.
I remember she said, "Oh yeah, my husband is really good at that." And I was like, "Oh, is he, doing it?" She's like, "Well, it's not with real money. It's just like following the stock market and trading with fake money, and like how you would do if you had put money in." Just kind of like, and I was like, "Oh, that is not the same at all. That is like the difference between me watching Lily golf and me actually standing up there and hitting the ball myself, and it feels totally different. It's
Or playing football from the couch as you
yeah,
watch it on the TV.
which is super fun,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
not the same as playing on the field.
Having skin in the game, actual money in the line, whatever it is, it makes all the difference.
You do make different choices when it's real.
You feel it
You
100%
feel it.
differently.
So I love this idea that hopefully you've heard something like that resonated for you at a level for you. I know another new thing that I did recently was that a baby step was that I ate sardines.
Oh,
I don't know how many of you out there are eating sardines. Like, there's a whole like super popular newsletter just all based on tinned fish that has millions of subscribers, and maybe you're one of them, but I'm not. But I talked to a nutritionist who said you may want to try adding sardines to your diet. They're really high in protein. It would be great for you. So right away, the first baby step I did was I bought a tin of sardines. And I think it's been in our cabinet since like May, maybe sooner. And finally I was like, you know what? I keep seeing this tin of sardines in my cabinet, and today's the day. So I toasted a piece of bread, I chopped up an avocado, and
she brought it to the table where I was sitting perfectly happy eating my lunch. She ruined everything.
could you smell it?
It smelled so bad.
Oh gosh. Anyway, he did not even look up, so I didn't know he even noticed. But
I was trying to ignore you. I was trying to ignore the whole thing.
I videotaped it because I was like, I do not know how this is going to go, but I just feel like funny that I said to myself, it's time to stop being a baby, and we call it a baby step. And maybe I should just really admire these babies more because they are so brave. And I just went for it, and it was fine. It was fine. I didn't like it.
The sardine?
But it was...
I'm pretty sure you spat it out.
But it was fine. And then I was like, okay, I'm now going to try it on a piece of toast spread with cream cheese with lemon and salt and pepper. And I thought that would also be fine because the first half, I cut the sardine in half, put one half on each piece of toast. And the second half, nope. Used it all. Had used up whatever like willpower or motivation I had for the experiment. And as soon as it went in my mouth, it was like, no, I had to run to the garbage can. My body was twisting in convulsions. Like, it did not want me to eat that sardine. But it was that feeling, right? Like, so for me, eating a sardine or hitting a golf ball are the examples that I'm giving of things that felt like baby steps where I had these like surge of big emotions come up and I wanted to back down and not do it. But I moved forward anyway. And in one case I learned I'm never eating sardines again. And in the other case I learned I may actually be really interested in golfing. This could be like a second half of life sport that really matches with my interests. Maybe it won't be, but I'm intrigued. My interest is piqued. And then Erik is giving these examples of putting half a dozen boats or more on retainer, or climbing big walls, no big deal. Wherever you find yourself in the middle, I just want to acknowledge that for you, that baby step will feel like climbing a very steep mountain. And just any strategy you can do to make that first step. We just want to honor you for being wholehearted, for being enthusiastic, for lurching forward, for being brave enough to work up the gumption to combat that inertia, to change directions, or to get going on something that feels important to you, even though it can also feel a little scary, to normalize that it can feel tense or make you sweat or make you feel a little bit queasy or hollow in your belly, or maybe a little nervous or even a little embarrassed, even if nobody's watching, and to just move forward anyway, because that is normal. That is that first inch of getting the rocket into outer space. It just takes a lot of emotional energy to take what we call a baby step.
And if you can, get people around you that cheer you on. Just like at a rocket launch. The reason the rocket goes into space is because everyone cheers really loud. So,
well, we hope that you will hear us cheering you on and recognizing your heroic first halting steps, because we believe that if it's something that's on your heart, that it's important for you to do.
Go for it, guys.
And we'll be here cheering and saying, what could go right?
Hey, everyone. Before we sign off today, this is Erik, Orton, and I just want to give you the sailing update. A few weeks ago, we put out our schedule for the whole year, all of 2026. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of trips that are coming up that I think are really worth remembering. We are going to be spending the winter in the British Virgin Islands, the BVI. So we're going to do a trip early January, late January, and February. And I love the BVI, and I'm going to tell you why. It is easy to get to. The sailing is world class. There's fantastic snorkeling. It's sunny at a time of year when, wherever you are in the world, January and February, chances are it's a little bit cold, a little bit gloomy. This is the perfect getaway for midwinter. So January 5th through the 10th, we're going to be in the BVI. We'll be there again January 26th through the 31st, and then again February 16th through the 21st. Another thing is, these will be our lowest price trips of the year. After these trips, prices jump to our new season setting. So if you want to get the best bang for your buck, BVI January 5 through 10, 26 through 31, or February 16 through 21. If you're feeling spendy, March, we are going to French Polynesia. We're going to do a one-way sail from Raiatea to Bora Bora. Bora Bora is gorgeous. The last time we were there was, I want to say, 2017. So we don't go very often. It's almost double the cost of our other trips. If you can afford it, it's super worth it. And it's beautiful. Imagine just like the biggest expanses of turquoise water and incredible sea life and fun restaurants and beautiful scenery. So if you want to go to French Polynesia in March, we're going to be there March 8th through the 14th. If not, if that's a little bit out of your range, which I totally get, our January and February trips to the BVI are going to be your best deal for the year. So click the button or just go to the Awesome Factory /.ny for the Awesome Factory / sorry, let me get this right. The Awesome Factory .nyc /sailing. That'll take you to the page that explains everything. Let's hop on a call, or you can email us at hello@theawesomefactory.nyc. Would love to sail with you in Q1 of next year. There's a couple of spots left on each of the BVI trips, so would love to welcome you aboard, and whether there or Bora Bora, either way, it'd be fun to sail together. Before we wrap up entirely, people go sailing with us, and I want you to hear from them directly what kind of experience they have. So here's a sailing takeaway from somebody who's gone sailing with us recently.
My takeaway is I think I'm really inspired. Again, so many things. There is being on the water, which I love, and learning the skills. But really, I think the inspiration of your nomadic lifestyle and the things that you have got out there and done really resonates with me and what I want to do in my life. And so I feel like it's a good springboard for me at this point to say, find some ways to do that. Definitely do more adventures like this, but look at all sorts of things. And you opened up some really cool avenues for that. So thanks.